Alright guys, got you back. I'm showing you a picture of the Colchester 17, and really what I want to talk about is that tailstock tube that screws on the end of the tailstock. Now I'll show you that in a minute, but if you can conceptualize, you probably remember it was in here yesterday. I need to index 4 holes radially to attach the hockey puck inside the end of the tube. So how do I do that? Well, I took it out because I got another setup going, but what I did is I had the tube in the forejaw, and you know what I did is I rotated it, and you know I scribed a line on the side of the tube, right? So what the deal is, I've got my stare at 98 level, which is, I forget what the precision is, but it's pretty darn sensitive. It's not the master precision, it's the one down. But anyways, put a level on a chuck jaw, and you know, the lathe's in neutral, and get the level bubble dead nuts in the middle. And just scribe your line by, you know, cranking the carriage back. And then go to your next jaw, because there's 4 jaws, level this jaw, scratch your line. Level this jaw, scratch your line. Level this jaw and scratch your line. So you're using the index of the 4-jaw chuck to scratch 4 lines to line up where to drill the holes for your bolts, your bolt circle. Let's go over here, and then I screwed it on after I had my lines. I screwed it on the tailstock, and the bolts ended up pretty darn close to being 45 degrees, you know, a nice, pleasant looking split. They could be like just a few degrees off vertical and it might look a little funny. It doesn't really matter, granted, right? All right, the Bridgeport. Everybody loves the Bridgeport, me included. So I've got one of these Harding 24 spacer indexers. And I just keep a dummy collet in it so I don't lose the tailstock screw, or the drawbar screw rather. Got this beautiful little 4-jaw chuck, and I've indicated it pretty round. You kind of, can you see that? Okay, so within 1/1000th, and you know, the tube's not round and you're squeezing, you're pulling from the outside in. See how I got that? I'm expanding the jaws on the inside. Well, anyways, there's a green marker line, and then that's to indicate where my scratch line is from the chuck. From doing the lathe chuck operation. So there's 1, kind of see there's 2, there's 3, next to the rust, and there's 4. And the markers just so I wouldn't lose them. So if you notice, this 24 position, there's a 0, I don't know, there's a 4. So 4 is quadrants. Third is, what's a third of a circle? A thirdrant? I don't know. But you line it up on 4, 4, 4, and I guess 0, right? Yeah, so 0. Right, yeah. And then it locks in, right? So, right. And if you look, pretty darn close to ending on top. And it's like, I could have done it with just the scribe marks, but, and I did think of this. I was going to have it in the Kurt vise, squeezing it, and actually this is the business end. I'm going to drill it here. That's the end I threaded, right, for the screw on the tailstock. And I was going to grip it here, and I'm like, that'll distort it, and I don't want to risk it. I'm like, duh, I'm stupid. Do it on the end where you're going to put the holes. So that's what I'm going to do. And obviously I don't have the hockey puck in there. Once I have the 4 holes indexed and drilled in there, then I can move it over to the vise and just index it, you know, by splitting the difference, finding the center, and yeah, I'm doing it that way. So that's my setup. It's nice to so if I didn't say, so this chuck has a 5C collet shank, right? I got a few chucks like this. This is not a Chinese one. I think this is a Cushman or a Union, I forget which. And it's got the Elgin backing plate. So that's my setup. I got a little lab jack just for, you know, so I wasn't fumbling setting it up in the 4-jaw. Let me set this up and we'll bring you back. All right, guys, got you back. I'm going to do some drilling now on this tailstock tube. So first we're going to edge find the tube. I'm doing all this with a 1/4-inch collet. So I got my ball bearing on a stick, and I'm just going to bump up against there and then do the same on the back side. Let's do it. Creeping up on it slowly. Okay, right there. It's skipping. I'm going to zero my readout on the Y. I'm going to do the back side. Which, I don't know if you can see the back side. Maybe. Then I'll drop the camera. Right there. All right, so we got our number on the digital readout, and let's see here, cut it in half. 1.566, I need 1.566, 1.566, 0, right? All right, now, yeah, you can see that. Let's transition you. No, that was not a bad. That's a good view. Okay. So we do the center drill. That is not the right center drill. All right. Where's all my 1/4-inch center drills? Okay. Oh, I got to edge find from this side. Oh, I forgot. Okay, I'm gonna do this. Okay. So let me go back to center. 3, 2, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay. Now, unlock the table. Let's spin it. One more time for good measure. 0. All right, so let me go over 100 thousandths and zero it again. Right, this piece is 606. So 303 would be half. And it's a weird number, I know this. But 303, and that's on this axis. I will lock the X. Darn, that's right on the money, right? How's that? Dude, that is right on my mark. I mean, I eyeballed that in the chuck. I mean, that thing is on the money. Here we go. Stop is on. Thought my drill bit was dull. It's my depth stop. Heck, I could almost drill with that 1/4 inch center bit. Anyways, I guess let's index this thing. Down, number 4. All right, 4 starter holes, and like I said, I'm drilling the 1/4 inch. And I like that I could, well, I showed you with the lathe and the level, the concept of indexing like that, just as, you know, another way that you could do it, and I did kind of both here by proving out with the lines. Probably don't need oil, but good times, right? Okay, we love it. So, that's done. That's really nice. That's how it works. If I push this down and leave it there, show you, and there's 2, 3. 4. And man, can you tell? See that scratch line? It's right in the middle. That scratch line, right in the middle. Scratch line, right in the middle. Heck yeah, man. So I didn't need the scratch lines, and I did not need to do the thing on the lathe. But you know, you forget the indexers you have. I got so many indexers. This is an indexer spacer. I've got the universal indexers and all that stuff. I'm not afraid to loosen the vise and just take it off or cast it over to the side. Some guys, man, they tram the vise and they tram the head, and it's like they don't ever want to tram a vise or a head again. And I don't get it, because if you do it enough times, it's so easy. It's like, I don't know, it's like unwrapping a Hershey bar. It's so easy. I don't understand it. But this is a cool little setup. The Harding 24 division spacer and my little accessory chuck on there. And they sell these as Chinese chucks too. This is a really good one. It had very little use on it. Oh, I'm kind of proud of this. I made this chuck key. And I think this is like a 7/32, a 218 hex, and it fits in there very tightly. And this is a piece of 1144 stress proof, and I actually hardened the square. I heated it red and quenched it in motor oil, and it's hard. I think I did the tempering, as you can see, and I left the temper colors on it. But yeah, I think that's a 219 square. But you know, invest in some nice accurate stuff. Some of the Chinese stuff is actually pretty good. A lot of, you know, if the choice is brand new Chinese tooling or worn out American stuff that's just beat to hell, you just buy the newer stuff that's not completely whooped, you know. Alright, so I did it on the right end. I got the threads in this end. I guess what I'll do now is I'll bolt the vise back up. And now that I got my holes indexed, I'm going to press this piece in. And this is sized for the bronze bushing. I'm going to press this in there and do half my distance and center it up in the vise, and then I can rotate it and then spot drill this and then tap this for 1/4 and I might as well tap it clear through to where the bushing's going to be pressed in, because why not, you know. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I won't. Alright, we'll bring you back. Alright guys, I got the pieces in the press. I'm going to use some 30-year-old Loctite. I've decided that this is really never ever needing to come apart, and if it does, I can always heat it up, right? So there's the Loctite. You center it this way. Center it front to back. It started. Felt kind of good, got Loctite everywhere. That's it, man. It's going to be that for the duration. Yeah. Hope you can see it. and I'll just put the screws in. All right, let's do that. All right, guys, I'm going to indicate device. I got the old Testa indicator in here. And I'm just going to touch off the edge of the vise. And that's 0. So I got this bolt just barely snugged, and I got this one pretty loose. So we're going to go over here across the entire jaw. Remember, we're starting at 0. We're like at 4, 5, 6, 7. So now we're at the other side. And remember, this side's tight and this side's loose. So it's going to pivot. And I don't know which way to hit it. This way. So that's 0. Let me snug it down. It's probably not going to be perfect. You go back. Well, it's pretty darn good. It's staying on 0. All right, I'm at a thou right there, okay? Now I'm really being careful. That's 0 right there. Now let me go above to the other side. I don't know why I said above. And there I'm at 1 and 1 thou. Now I'm on 0. Let me give it a snug. I am dead nuts on 0. 0. Right back on 0. So there it is. And I took 2 swipes and it took 2 minutes. I just looked at the camera timer. 2 minutes to get this thing trammed in. Back and forth twice. So there's 2 minutes involved in this. Hope you enjoyed that. So now, that comes out. I just want to make sure I tighten these. Yep. Tight, but not the apocalypse is coming today. Tight. All right, let me leave a little hanging off here. The pipe is smaller than the center of, I got enough jaw height is what I'm trying to say. Now that's hand tight. I'm going to try to, I need to find the center again, right? That's the next step. Alright. So, let's find the edge, and I don't know where the middle is. That's about where it is. That's about where the middle is. You only got to go approximate. And the phase converter's not on. If you turn the mill on, it just hums. We need to get the phase converter turned on. So I will hit the start button. Okay, that's zeroed. Come along to this side. And there it's hesitating again. So, let me, okay. 1.565, 1.5647, so it's 565,565,0. Love it, baby. And we know it's 300 from the end, and that's fine. What else do I need? Be nice to have a 1/4 inch pin, wouldn't it? Oh yeah. It's the dude. Alright, just 1/4 inch pin. We love it. I could edge find and go in 303 thousandths from last time and da-di-da-da. I don't care. Oh, wait a minute. What am I doing? Yeah, that's in the center. I have to rotate this. So what do I want to do? That seems to fit in there. There's 2 edges to dowel pins. That seems to fit in there. I guess I like that end. Come on, baby, get in there. Alright. Oops. So now the dowel pin's in. And it's not on center, so I remembered I have to loosen the vise. Put that in the center, and then tighten the vise. Right, because it was all hand tight before, and now I put the torquer on it. Can you see? Oh, maybe, yeah. Maybe it's too tight. I don't want to crush it. I mean, that's where it's going to be lined up, man. I guess. Let me try it. Now it's lined up. Now I can tighten this just a bit. Alright, so I'm lined up on my hole. I measured half the distance, centered it on this, and then I rotated to get on center. So now, I'm going to do, I guess my 1/2 inch center drill, or 1/4 inch center drill. I hope I've been saying 1/4 inch all along. Is it the good end? I guess it's as good as any. And I gotta drill this for 201, right? Goes right in there. Need my air hose. Well, you get the idea. That's how you set it up. I'm just going to drill and tap these off camera, and by the magic of video it'll be done. I'm tired. It's 10 o'clock on a Friday. I'm just gonna relax, and maybe I'll do this a little later, but you get the idea on how to line that up. We got my 4 holes in the tube, and I'm ready to go. All right, we'll do a little bit more later.